Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Pack the Brew. This week, a very, very special guest, seventh rounder for the Rockies in the 2025 draft, straight out of Houston. It's Antoine Jean. Antoine, appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Of course, appreciate you guys having me.
Of course. I just want to start with something that I think is insane is these last couple of days for you. You have literally gone pedal to the metal since you've gotten drafted. Rub me through what your life has been like since you've gotten drafted.
It's definitely been has been going fast for sure, but I love it at the same time. It's like I've been ready my whole life for this moment to happen. You know what I mean? So the week leading up to the draft, didn't get a whole lot of sleep. Just being
Yeah.
excited and all that. And once I got drafted, yeah, it's been. I mean, my phone's been blowing up for
Yeah.
sure. Like the days of the draft and the days after that. But then, yeah, just packing up my things from Houston. That's the thing with me. Like I don't rarely go back home in Canada, so I had to pack my things up from Houston and just go straight from there to Arizona to come down here, do my physicals, and sign my contract.
Yeah, we've spoken to a few players, guys who have got drafted the first, second round, guys who are drafted later than you. But as a seventh rounder, how does it go down for you? I mean, the calls, is there expectations like I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to this team in this round? How is that for you?
Leading up to the draft, honestly, my situation is a little different. Just like being an older guy and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. I was 23 on draft day, so but like obviously I was blessed to have a great year. So leading up to the draft, I had talks with pretty much every team. You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
kind of let my agent do the work when it comes to like talking to teams as well and trying to see like where I fit in and stuff like that in the draft. And yeah, I had a pretty good idea of where I was gonna fit in the draft. And then it was really like I said, I was really I was trusting my agents to do the work and all that stuff. And actually ended up going a little later than I expected, but at the same time, it was great scenario for me. Honestly, I couldn't be more thankful for the way it happened and everything like that. And I'm glad to be a Rocky.
Right, and you got drafted actually by the Twins in 2019, straight out of high school. I'm always interested in that decision. It takes a lot at that age to you're literally betting on yourself. You're throwing the guaranteed money away and betting on yourself. Talk to me about deciding to take that route instead of taking the guaranteed money straight out of high school.
Yeah, man, it was probably still to this day the hardest decision I ever had to make, especially coming from Montreal, Canada. Like that's what I always tell people. Like the situation that happened to me back in the day when I was 17, it was like stuff that you don't really see a whole lot. You know what I mean? Where I'm from, it's like is the big thing when you get drafted and all that, just because there's not a lot of them. Like, see, for example, this year there was only two guys from Quebec to get
Yeah.
drafted. So me and Charles Davalon, a guy from Arkansas, who had a great year. But yeah, so it was a hard decision for me, and ultimately it just came down to I was 17 at the time. I thought I was ready mentally for pro ball. I just think physically I needed to go to college and develop a little bit on that side. You know what I mean? I was
Mm-hmm.
145 pounds, didn't throw very hard. I was good at winning the game, and I think I was going to showcase that better in college than in pro ball.
Yeah, you mentioned you're 23 now, which it's crazy that is considered older for guys entering the draft. Do you
For
feel like
sure.
you're kind of maybe doubted a little bit than those younger guys, especially, back when you were drafted originally?
I mean, a certain side of me thinks that a little bit. I mean, obviously, when I turned it down in college, in high school, sorry, I was planning on going 3 years in college and then get drafted and start the cycle again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, a lot of
Sure.
stuff happened along the way, like injuries and kind of stuff out of my control, and I ended up staying 6 years in college, which definitely wasn't part of my plan. But I'm glad that it played out the way it did. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do I think maybe I was doubted? Yeah, like I mean, there was three drafts in a row before this year where I was going into it thinking I'll probably get drafted, and it didn't happen. So that was definitely hard for me. But at the same time, it led to like me meeting new people, getting to work with different people, and ultimately leading to me having the best year of my career so far and making a big jump.
Right, and you didn't give him any reason to not draft you this year. You were not only the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, but also the first reliever, in quotes, to win that award. Talk about how much that award meant to you in that process of getting to that point, especially through all that struggle.
No, it meant a lot to me. It's probably like one of my best and favorite accomplishments I've had in my young career so far. Like when I got to Houston, that was my goal to win Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, and obviously um, didn't end up doing it last year. And then coming into this year, knowing it was my last college season, and I need to make the most out of it in order to help my team win, get to the postseason, or like just put myself in a good spot for the draft. I knew I needed a big season, and that was definitely a goal of mine, and I was glad to accomplish it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned your first year at Houston didn't go the way you planned. A near 6 ERA to a 2.5 ERA in the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year. What changes did you make that led to that big of a difference?
Honestly, man, obviously a lot of changes went into it. I've been a starter my whole life. Came out the pen this year, and it still wasn't like a regular bullpen role. Like I would still throw extended outings and stuff like that. But man, I just made a big jump in stuff this year, and it really helped me to unlock new things in my career.
And at Houston, you had a pitching coach in Woody Williams who has a bunch of experience in the big leagues. What did you learn most from Woody that you're going to bring into the big leagues with you?
Woody is just like one of the best people all around I've ever met. You know what I mean? Not
Mm-hmm.
only on the baseball side of things, but on the personal level too. I was blessed again. Not only Woody, just the people I've been around with at Alabama or at Houston, and obviously being with Woody this year, I made the jumps that I made. Like not only stuff wise, but just how to handle adversity, how to handle success as well, because that's the thing that people tend to forget. You know what I mean? We always talk about how to handle failure, which is super important, but how to handle success as well. You know what I mean? Because nothing's guaranteed. Like tomorrow's not promised, and it goes like that sometimes. You know what I mean? So having Woody really helped me approach things in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, you got to experience both the Big 12 kind of baseball and SEC ball. Was there any big differences that you noticed between those two very good conferences?
Like you said, man, like they're both great conferences. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about the Power Four, like the SEC might have a little more notoriety than the other ones, but like they're all great. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you take the top teams and the top players from both leagues, like they'll stack up pretty well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was like you said, I was fortunate enough to play in two really good conferences, and I'm glad I got to measure myself against like the best ones in the country.
Yeah, for sure. You had mentioned in a previous interview, and I'm going to take it back a little bit here, that you focused solely on baseball from 13 or 14 years old, which is not something you see nowadays. Nowadays, it's a lot of multi-sport athletes, and it was because you, quote, said that you could tell you were going to have a career. Do you have any memories from that time in specific that brings you to a conclusion that bold?
Like I said again, where I'm from, it's a little different. Like if I lived in like Florida or stuff like that, maybe I would have kept playing other sports. But back home, I mean, I was a big hockey guy. I loved hockey growing up.
Really?
Baseball, it's one of those things. Like if you want to work at it 12 months a year, it's kind of hard to do if you play
Yeah.
another sport because you can't really play outside in the winter and stuff like that. So I just felt like at my age, I really needed to take one and go with it. And I'm somebody that goes all in on things, and like I think about it 24/7. And like if I was gonna pursue one or the other, I was gonna have a career in it. So ultimately chose baseball.
Yeah, dude, that's sweet. Who do you root for in hockey? Who's your rooting interest?
I get asked that a lot. I mean, obviously growing up in Montreal when I was a kid, I loved
Yeah.
the Canadians. But I will say, like, when I got to college, I kind of stopped following hockey, which I
Yeah.
feel bad about. But I will tell you what, I root for Team Canada. That's every
Yeah.
year during Christmas time. The under 21 tournament that I've been watching since I'm like 5 years old, and I watch it every year, and that's like my favorite tournament to watch. So obviously, I'm big on Team Canada every year, just being Canadian. But I'll tell you or the Four Nations that happened
Yeah.
earlier this year.
That was
That was
electric.
really fun. I was with my friends in Houston, and obviously they don't know about hockey or nothing like that.
Right.
And I was like, boys, like y'all gotta watch this movie. I'm
Yeah,
telling y'all. And
100%, dude. Dude,
they got into it. Like they didn't know
yeah,
nothing. They
you
really
had
got
to.
into it. So yeah.
Dude, it was awesome because Wisconsin doesn't have a hockey team, so you either have to root for any of the surrounding states, in which Ryan and I are big enough baseball guys that like I don't want to root for the same team as the Cardinals or the Cubs or like
Yeah.
it's there's that loyalty there.
Mhm.
It might be a stupid baseball fan thing, which fair enough, but I never got into it. I don't get into it, but like the Wild and the playoffs, like I love playoff hockey. I think playoff hockey is one of the best sports to watch. Period. Like I think it's awesome. But also the videos of Matthew Tkachuk and the Canadians, like that was so cool, bro. That was like one of the most electric things I'd seen in a long time.
Hockey's a fun sport for sure. It's like it's very like fast paced and everything. So like for somebody that's new to it, it can be fun to watch. You know what I mean? If you
Mm-hmm.
see goals and stuff like that and a little bit of physicality, it's fun to watch. But I mean, now being a Rocky, I mean, the Avalanche is not a bad
Avalanche.
thing to root for. I mean, Nathan
It's a good team
is
to root for.
Canadian, one of my favorite players. So I mean, it should be fun in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Was there ever a dream of a younger version of you that wanted to be in the NHL instead of
100
MLB?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I started hockey at 4, and I started baseball at 8. So I mean, yeah, when you're in Canada, bro, you're born with skates on your feet.
Dude,
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
insane. So
Every
you could
little park outside, like it's literally a rink
Yeah.
during the winter. It's not. It's like
so you
pick
could
up.
skate before you could walk.
Oh, pretty much.
Yeah, that is unreal.
But yeah, growing up, I definitely had dreams of playing in the NHL, and yeah.
Oh, for sure. I like that. Yeah, I mean, Gage said it. It's hard to get into hockey in Wisconsin because there's no professional team. So it's cool to hear from, I mean, the country of hockey pretty much. But, back to baseball here. You got to go and face Wyatt Langford in the SEC tournament. And, of course, he was one of the top prospects in all of baseball. He's having a pretty good year with the Rangers right now. And he got him to ground out. But is there a mentality that you have on the mound when you see a bigger name coming up to bat like him?
Yeah, man. It's funny you say that because earlier that year he took me deep in a 3-2 count on a changeup, which that didn't really happen for me a whole lot. And yeah, took me deep at home. But yeah, man, for sure, especially this year. Yeah, like you just when you see somebody coming in the box and that's a bigger name, you just want to like bring your A game as well. You know what I mean? And I think this year, really helped like having that mentality because I'm sure hitters would think the same way and vice versa. So it was really fun this year to like know that like you're facing a big name and they're gonna bring their A game against you and you have to bring your A game against them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you go to war out there, bro. Like watching your highlights, you go to war. Like you are one of the most electric players that I've ever like watched pitch. It is like so much fun to watch you pitch. Talk about that passion that you pitch with. You're just like there's one that comes to mind. I think it's UCF where you were just screaming after, ready to go. That's it. You pitch with so much passion. Talk about that.
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate you saying that, but yeah, man, I just like as easy as it sounds, like I just love baseball. You know what I'm saying? Like it's my whole life. That's what I've always wanted to do, and just being fortunate enough to do it every day. Like that's just what I love to do, and that's where I feel comfortable in life. Like when I'm on the mound, like I just love competing. Like my main thing is I want to beat the person in front of me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a plate of food and who's going to get it first. That's just my mentality when I pitch. And yeah, man, especially this year, I was really, with the new role I had, I was really working on like not bringing that emotion too early in the game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And make sure I kept it inside until the last out was made. Because sometimes you can see a lot of guys, you know what I mean, come out with a lot of emotion in the middle of an outing and then your shoulders, that was Woody's big thing, like, your shoulders can never go down. You can't be satisfied until the job's over. So that's what I worked on a lot this year because I've always been a super emotional guy. And yeah, this year, just waiting until that last out to let my emotion come out really helped me, I think, have success this year.
Is there any of them in specific, any outings in specific that you remember that, like, that was the big thing was keeping, like, you were pitching insane, but you had to fight that mental side of it?
Oh, yeah, it happened a ton, man. I mean, I actually had that talk with Woody after like my first outing in the year against Minnesota. I think like I got super hyped in like the fourth inning about a strikeout, and then like the next inning like didn't go as well. You know what I mean? And he was like, "Look, man, you care so much, and I love it, but like try to like
Yeah.
navigate those feelings, you know, because
Hold
feelings
it. Yeah.
come and go. You know what I'm saying? So just keeping that inside and like let it go until the end, and then after that, just I remember my next couple outings, just keeping that in mind and just doing good and doing good and doing good and keep doing good. And then the next thing you know, it's way easier, like control your breathing and stuff like that and go longer in games. And yeah, man, I remember the UCF game, like you said. I went for a while, like 5 innings.
5 innings.
And then
Yep.
when it ended, it was just like now I can let it go, you know what I'm saying? And it was great. And that was
And I
definitely what kind of started the year for me.
Right. And I think that was the Selly where you just stood there after. Like I there was one where you had a death glare into a camera, and I was like, man, like this dude's a
Yeah,
dog.
that might have
It's
been
so
it.
much
I
fun.
mean,
Yeah.
and it's funny to say because my teammates were like, "Bro, like stop, you're playing," and I'm like, "I swear I'm not." Like
No.
it's coming out. Like whatever Shelly would happen, like I didn't plan it or nothing. And the last thing I want to do is like try to show people off. But
You're right.
I love getting my team hyped. So whatever would come out, it would come out. You know what I'm saying? And we had a lot of fun with it.
It's not as big of a conversation as it was, 4 or 5 years ago, but the let the kids play movement that took over Major League Baseball. If it was Tim Anderson, Ronald Acuna Jr., Tatis Jr., and then of course you got the guys that are like, no, I don't want you showing any emotions. If it was Mad Bum or Clayton Kershaw, were any of those guys, have they been? I don't know what word I want to use. Motivate? Did they motivate you to kind of? I want to show some fire, some passion, also.
Honestly, nah, man. Like I'm old school in that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do think there's a time and place for everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like nowadays, I do think sometimes I'm big on like if it comes out, it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Yeah.
somebody that like I like people that like trying to plan things or stuff like
Right.
that. I
Yeah.
mean, if it comes out, it comes out. If that's who you are, that's who you are. But yeah, like I definitely have a whole school mentality as well when it comes to that. Like I do think a lot of it sometimes is too much, or like people doing celebrations just to do celebrations. Like, nah, man, if that's you, and let it come out. And if not, that's totally okay. I do think it's also really cool when you just see somebody chopping dudes up and
Yeah.
they just walk off the mound like they do that over and over. And that's kind of what I was trying to do this year. You know what I mean? Like make
Mm-hmm.
it like as to where it's not just a surprise that I'm doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like make it look like I've done that before. And that was another thing that Woody was telling me. So I do think there's a good sense to that as well.
Right. You
So
mentioned your team. You. Sorry. You go for it. Knock yourself
sorry.
off.
No, I like that answer from you a lot. So let's say if a player, hitter beats you, he takes you deep, hits in the gap, whatever. Maybe does a little bat flip, does a little celebration, shows you up a little bit. Are you like, oh, I hate this guy? Or you're like, hey, next time this guy's up, I'm gonna get you out. Is there a mentality there?
100% the second thing you said. Like I got no problems with if you beat me, and do what you got to do. You know what I mean to get your team going. And yeah, man, this next time we get up, is game on again. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, as long as it's done in like in a correct way, like I don't see
Mm-hmm.
no problem with that for sure.
Yeah.
Right. You talked about your teammates earlier. Talk about the leadership that you showed. Obviously, a 6-year college player. You come in with a lot more experience than most players coming into their first, second seasons. Talk about your mentality with leadership.
I just think it's always kind of been in me in a sense. You know what I mean? I've always been a guy that likes to lead by example, likes to get really close with my teammates. Like all my best friends, I consider them like family. You know what I'm saying? So I've always cared a lot for people, especially when it's my team. Like it becomes your family and guys you want to fight for. So even at a young age, when I was younger, I've always felt like I was some sort of a leader and person that people can gravitate towards. And yeah, like even at Bama, like the biggest time I felt like it came out is when I had Tommy John and I couldn't pitch for a whole year, and I felt like I still played a role in that team just from being an older guy and being a leader, and I carried that with me to Houston, even though it was my first year at Houston last year. Uh, got voted as a captain and felt like I had a good role. And honestly, like I don't even need that label. I'm just gonna be myself. And lead by example with work ethic and stuff like that. And when I see somebody struggling, I'll go talk to them and see if I can help or anything, and vice versa. It can be the same with my teammates. So yeah, I just try to be that person for them.
Yeah, how did that rehab go for you with the Tommy John? I mean, you hear different stories from different players. I mean, it's either it kills you or you're just more motivated to get on the mound.
No, man, the rehab, I can't say enough good things about the rehab for me. Honestly, rehab went really well for me. The only hard thing with Tommy John for me was the timing of it. I ended up missing like half the season my junior year, and it wasn't torn yet. It was just like hurting, couldn't really pitch on it. And right when I felt like it was getting better, went and pitched in the Cape a few weeks before the draft, and that's when I blew. I blew it, so I ended up missing half that year and then the whole next year. So that was the hard part. But the rehab itself, I'm just somebody that I like to work hard and see results in everything. You know what I'm saying? So I love that part of the rehab of just getting better and better each week. And yeah, man, just the grind of it. I really enjoyed it, and obviously came back a lot stronger mentally and physically on the back end of it.
And coming back, obviously this season was an absolutely massive one. Do you have a favorite outing from not only this season, but also your career?
I mean, a whole bunch this year. There was a lot this year that obviously I love. Probably the UCF one, like you said, was the one that I don't want to say like coming out party, but that was one that I was like,
definitely, 100%.
Like, whoa, what's going on? You know what I mean? My stuff ticked up that day, and I just was able to carry it on for the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember going into the season, never really, like, my top was probably like 92, maybe a 93 here. And that day at UCF was like 93 to 96 with like breaking balls crazy. And then the rest of the year it just carried on. I think I just figured something out that day, and I was able to carry it on.
Yeah, kind of putting you on the spot right here, but if you could compare your game to any current or former major leaguer, do you have a name in mind?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I feel like I've thought about that, and it's super hard for me to say.
Yeah.
I've heard back in the day like Cole Hamels just with the 4-pitch mix, the changeup, because I used to throw a lot more changeups. Obviously this year, started spinning the ball a lot more, and now, yeah, man, it's a hard one. I couldn't really tell you one. I mean, maybe you guys have one, but yeah, for now, I don't know.
Nah, you mentioned earlier that you don't really, you don't try and model your game off of, you try and be yourself. And I think that that's something like very valuable. Just because if you're not trying to be somebody else, like, you're Antoine Jean. I think that that's the biggest thing that you can do. This is a dumb fan question. I mentioned that there was going to be a couple of them. How many Astros games did you get to during your time at UH? Because that stadium is not far at all. And that is a very like decent drive.
The week of the draft, I've been to like 3 or 4 games that week, so that gives you an idea. Yeah, and every time, like, because for recruits, we would do that a lot, you know what I mean? Like, coaches would bring guys to games and stuff like that, so, yeah, man, like, every time, my coach, I was really close with my coach, and he, like, especially when the season ended, I helped a lot with just, like, talking to guys and, like, guys that would have questions, especially pitchers about the program and stuff. I would do my best to help them and get on the phone with them and be like, hey, man, like, just telling them about my experience, you know what I mean? So, yeah, every time there was a game to go to, like, I was there. So,
dude,
and
that's electric.
It's super fun, too. Like, it's super close. And it was my first time experiencing, like, just being close like that to a stadium. And I love watching ball. So, yeah, man, we'd get cheap tickets with the boys and just go all the time and try to get lower every inning with like that. So, no, it was amazing. But I was blessed to either go to a lot of games with the boys or, like go with recruits and stuff like that. But, yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, Minute Maid's a nice park. Obviously you've been there. What other ballparks have you been to as a fan, or you've been on the mound for whatever reason?
I played on Minute Maid last year. Played at Globe Life this year for Big 12 tournament. That stadium's crazy. Yeah. I remember walking in and I was pretty starstruck when I first like walked in there because it's so big and like it's very new as well. And I did pitch at Rogers Center when I was younger, like a little bit before college, like probably when I was like 16. That was great too. Been to Fenway when I was in the Cape. That was amazing. and I think I've been to City Field as well when I was a kid, but that's all I can remember.
And then, are you still a Blue Jays guy? Like, do you retain that fandom? Are you an Astros guy? Like, where does your team allegiance lie at this very moment?
I mean, now it lies with the Rockies for
Rockies,
sure.
yeah, okay. I threw you a lob there. I kind of was like hoping that you'd slam dunk it. Yeah, good work. Good answer.
Yeah, I've never been like a diehard one team guy. Like I just love watching good baseball.
Yeah, I
So
can't relate to that one.
if I like a player for like 2 weeks and I like really like what he's doing or stuff like that, or I'm trying to like I know I don't necessarily model my game after people, but I do enjoy like for example right now Terry Schoolbowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy that's super fun to watch, and I just
Good
love
guy to
everything
model
he's
after.
about when it comes to like mentality and how he is as a pitcher. So every time he's pitching, of course, I'm gonna try to tune in. But yeah, I mean, obviously in 2015, the bat flip year for the Blue Jays, like I was a big fan of the Blue Jays that
Mm-hmm.
year.
Yeah.
I did really like the Royals as well during those years, but
Yeah.
I like teams like that, like fun teams, underdogs, stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, so obviously getting drafted by the Rockies as a pitcher, it's not usually the top spot a lot of pitchers look to get drafted by. What makes your stuff different than the guys who didn't work out at Coors Field? How do you think that you are going to succeed there than the guys who failed?
Honestly, I mean, I'm looking forward to work with them because, like you guys said, I haven't been there. I don't know everything about it. Obviously, they know a lot more than I do.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to work with them and get to see what they have to say and stuff like that. And I'm going to be all ears to learn new things and maybe tips on like how to pitch there, if it's any like the changes you have to make as a pitcher in order to have success there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's just another challenge. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, earlier I put in quotations I said reliever. Talk about being in that just unconventional role. You know, you went from a starter to a reliever that was taking 5 innings at a time. You know, like you really did it all. I like the way that it was put in a former interview. Is pitching just pitching to you? Do you do anything different on days that you're gonna, go 2 or go 5? What does that look like for somebody in that role?
Yeah, man. Obviously, it was my first time actually getting put in that role, and I don't know what it's going to look like moving forward in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like you said when I said that before, like the pitching is pitching thing. That was my main thing this year with being in that new role is I wanted to keep that same mentality. Like whether I'm getting out in the first, the fifth, or the ninth inning, like you still got to get the guy out, and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to treat it any differently when I was on the mound. So that's what I think helped me adapt to the role. Obviously, when it comes to preparation and stuff, it's a lot different because as a starter, you know what day you're
Yeah.
pitching, so you can kind of plan your week with that. But with the role I had this year, I kind of had to come ready to pitch every day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm somebody that can bounce back pretty good. So obviously, if I would go long, I knew the next day I wouldn't pitch. So I already had a setup and knew what I needed to do recovery wise to be back the next day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a role that you prefer doing if it's a starter, lawn relief, just a 1 inning guy out of the bullpen? Is there any kind of role that you want to do?
Honestly, I mean, I'm trying to do whatever my team needs me to do to win. Like
Mm-hmm.
for example, this year, like I've always seen myself as a starter, and this year, the role that I was in helped our team win games. So that's what I was willing to do. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
moving forward, it's going to be the same thing in the future. Obviously, I think looking at a career and stuff like that, I do feel like I want to be a starter in the long term. You know what I mean? Just from a career standpoint and what I want to accomplish, the goals I want to accomplish for myself and stuff like that. But the goal is to get to the big leagues as fast as possible. So whatever needs to happen in that way is what's going to happen. And whatever the Rockies want me to do, I'm going to be all ears and ready to go as well.
For sure, bro. And I said that again, more dumb fan questions here. You went from number 4 to number 7 this year.
Yeah.
Lucky number 7. That's an insane year. Was there anything behind that number change? Just need a vibe switch?
Honestly, what happened is one of the recruits, one of our transfers called me this summer and was like, "Hey man, like really don't want to be that guy, but I would love to wear number 4 and stuff like that for personal reasons that he had." And I was like, you know what, bro, like 100%. Like I support it and just let him have number 4. And I really like single digit numbers, so number 7 was available, and I snagged it.
Did you sell the number to him, a certain dollar amount, or you're just a good guy here?
No, I was a good guy on that one. I was a good guy. The reason was really good, so
Uh-huh.
I was just like, you know what, bro, you can have it, and yeah.
Yeah, I know that the Brewers, I mean, like, think of guys in the last couple of years that have not. That's not like you don't see relievers with single digits. I like that.
Or
That's
pitchers in general. It's
Right,
a pretty
yeah.
rare thing. Like I can think
It's-
of Blake Snell being a lefty, actually had number 4 and number 7, but and I really like Blake Snell. But yeah, I just like single digits, man. I think it's cool, and it's
Dude,
not
it's
very
like-
popular.
yeah. Dude, exactly. Make yourself stand out in that way. That's
100%.
electric, bro. I can't wait
And
to
I
see
think-
it.
I've always seen myself as like an athletic dude on the mound, and like I love running around. I think I'm a fast guy, so looking like
Yeah.
a position player out there, I like the looks of it.
Bro,
So,
absolutely. Pitchers are athletes. Like start the movement. And then finally, final dumb question here. What was your walkout in college, and was there any meaning behind it?
I've switched a little bit. I had 50 Cent my freshman year. My sophomore year, I had Skrilla by Kodak Black. That was a good one.
pick.
I really like that one. And then after that, I went with No Chill by Lil Baby, Moneybagg Yo, and Rilo. That was my walk-up song for both years at Houston, and that's probably like my favorite song of all time. So, yeah.
So when you debut in the big leagues, that's gonna be the one that we hear, right? That's the thought.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
So,
That
so
I don't know.
that'll change.
Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. I haven't thought about it yet.
Gotcha.
I do like Spanish music a lot too. So being around a lot of guys in pro ball, I'm sure like that's probably gonna be in the mix as well.
What do you like? Favorite Spanish artist?
I mean, there's a bunch. Everybody says Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's pretty good. I like Anuel. I like a bunch of them. Honestly, I like everybody.
Yeah, no, going to a bunch of. I've been to 13 this year. I think that's the number I've been to this year. I don't know what Ryan's number is right now, of how many games he's been to, but like you end up getting. I mean, there's a lot of like Abner Uribe is a Dominican reliever for the Brewers, and his walkout was it was a Dominican rap song. And I play that when we drive into the stadium. Like I'm a big fan, and so like obviously that develops, and like El Alfa was one of those guys that like I started listening to because of it. Bad Bunny, you mentioned, like there's a lot of like really good music like that, and it's also great for walkouts. Abner Uribe also walks out to The Cowboy by Kid Rock, so like there's a little bit of difference there in what his walkout is.
But no, being from Montreal, like I grew up in a very like diverse place. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had a bunch of Dominican and Venezuelan friends growing up. So yeah, I've been put onto that kind of music pretty early, at an early age. So yeah, it was fun. And obviously going to college in Alabama, you know what they listen to over there, country music over and over.
Yeah.
And like that ain't my forte, but hey, I try to let the guys go with it. You know what I'm saying?
Who's your favorite country artist then?
I don't have one, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
No
Not
worries.
that it's bad. I just don't listen to it.
Yeah.
I think Morgan
that's
Wallen's
fair.
pretty good, but I feel like I think Morgan's Wallen's. I didn't know that.
pick.
I did hear George Strait has the king of country. That's what everybody says. So I know that one, but yeah.
Do you understand any of the Spanish music? Can you speak Spanish or understand it, or is it just you're just vibing to it?
I don't really understand it, to be honest. If you like show me like Spanish words to read, I could read them out loud. Just because speaking French, you have to roll your R's, so the accent is not really hard for me to like pronounce things and stuff like that. Like for you guys, it would probably be hard just from like rolling R's and stuff like that. But for me, it's pretty easy. Just having French as my first language is pretty easy for me to like pronounce words like that. And I'm sure I'm gonna be able to learn a little bit of Spanish moving forward. Just like it being closer to French, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's cool. So you're completely fluent in French and English then, huh?
100%, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, I think I got a D in Spanish, and that's all I can do outside of English. So good for you there.
Sure.
Right now, there's so many great prospects currently in the minor leagues for, of course, the Rockies, but for all of baseball. Are there any specific names that you're looking forward to facing on the mound?
I can't think of a specific one, but all of them for sure. Like
Hmm.
I'm definitely looking forward. Like you said earlier, um, how does it feel when you see like a big name coming up to the plate? Obviously, you see that a lot more in pro ball, and I'm
Yeah.
honestly really looking forward to it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I mean, prospects wise, obviously, all my friends that are in pro ball, I'm looking forward to facing them, and just from going from teammates to kind of enemies on the field.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really fun. But yeah, man, I can't think of a specific name,
Hmm.
but anybody that comes in the box, I'm excited to face. You know.
And where do you pull your competitive, that competitive mindset from? You seem like a very competitive individual just from watching you pitch, from this interview too. Where do you pull that from? Or is there people in your life that are very competitive? Is that just something, that you've developed?
I think that's. I honestly think that's just who I am. You know what I'm saying? My whole life, I've always wanted to be number one in everything, and I don't know. That's just something. I always have that chip on my shoulder of I want to be first. I want to be the best, and I love competing in everything that I do. Whether it's like whatever it is, man. If we like race somewhere, I want to be first. If we play pool, I want to win, or whatever it is. Like I just enjoy like winning and competing. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So looking with you in the Rockies organization now, I know you just got drafted, you're just getting settled in Arizona and all that, but have the Rockies told you anything on what level you're going to be starting at or any information?
We haven't really got into it yet,
Hmm.
honestly. Like we literally did our physicals yesterday, signed our contracts today, and then pretty sure this upcoming week we have like a mini draft camp with all the rookies, the guys that just got drafted. I'm sure, their priority right now for everybody is just learning how to be a pro. You know what I mean, and
Yeah.
not necessarily focus on like where you're gonna start and stuff like that, but just going into it, get your feet wet, and learn how to be a pro. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm out of them. Ryan, you got anything else?
No, I'm out, but I'll give you one more here actually. You mentioned you've gotten some great advice from some former coaches. What is the greatest piece of advice that you have gotten from a coach or a friend, family, whoever?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna sound cliche, obviously, because everybody's heard it, but it's super hard to master. Is control the things you can control. I've
Hmm.
had that.
All
I've
the
had
controllables.
every person that means a lot in my life means a lot to me in my life, whether it's a coach or yeah, man. They've all told me that. You know, my pitching coach at Bama, who's like a father figure to me, has told me that a bunch over the years. You know what I mean? Woody obviously tells me that a lot. Matt Rada was somebody I'm really close to, who actually I was with at Bama and transferred with him at Houston. Has told me that a lot. Just control the things you can control is super. It's easy to say, obviously, and when things go well, it's easy to do. But when things are harder, it's when you really need to lean on it and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah, that's great advice. You got anything you want to plug before we wrap this one up?
I'm all good with it. I'm all good.
All right, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to another one. As always, you can find us anywhere you find your podcast, anywhere on social media. Next time you buy from Becker Co., be sure to use code PACKTheBrew15 for 15% off your next purchase. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to another one. We will see you in the next episode.